coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News starts now.
Today, flames engulfed the historic Notre Dame Cathedral in France, bringing many people to tears as hundreds of years of history burned. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Emily Spain.
And I'm Jim Murray. Thanks for joining us. Here's the latest. The French Fire Department reports that 2 towers have been saved from total destruction and 1 firefighter has been hurt. The cathedral was built in 1163. The island in which it sits on was evacuated by police. Fire trucks had trouble getting there because of rush hour traffic. About 400 firefighters were sent. The cause of the fire is still unknown. However, Paris prosecutors have ruled out arson. The cathedral attracts more than 10 million tourists each year.
A French journalist sent us exclusive footage of the fire. You can take a look here at what she sent us. The Notre Dame Cathedral is a monument representing French history and culture. Just below the spire is the altar where the center of the cathedral is. KOMU spoke to a Columbia teacher who studied art history in France, including the architecture of the cathedral. She says, quote, "The heart of France is burning today."
So that's the space where you can stand and look up. And you have all 3 versions of Gothic architecture meeting at these corners, literally, with big rose windows and the stained glass and the light coming in, and just the highest point of the ceiling.
With Easter just a week away, Catholics in France are devastated by this major symbol of their religion. Catholicism is the dominant religion in France, and the cathedral is in the heart of the city of Paris.
President Trump commented on the fire today. Speaking at a Tax Day roundtable in Minneapolis, the president called the incident a, quote, terrible scene.
It's a part of our culture. It's a part of our lives. That's a truly great cathedral. And I've been there and I've seen it, and there's no cathedral. I think I could say there's probably no cathedral in the world like it. It's a terrible scene.
French President Emmanuel Macron pledges to rebuild Notre Dame and says he will seek international help to do so.
Back in mid-Missouri, Columbia Regional Airport is open for the first weekday since closing due to runway repairs. Crews have worked to repair a runway crown that made landing a bumpy ride. Although it's open, some airlines are still not taking the chance. And another question is the cost for repairs. KOMU 8's Maria Bray is at COU with an update on the airport.
That's right. United Airlines is back in service. However, American Airlines won't have flights available until tomorrow. The estimated runway repair cost is nearly $500,000, and the City of Columbia and the FAA are trying to figure out how much each is going to pay.
Welcome to the Columbia Regional Airport.
Something not heard for more than a week, and some passengers not realizing that today's open doors may not guarantee a flight.
So today I came here and they said due to runway issues they have closed and they are supposed to open on tomorrow.
It takes him a total of 26 hours to fly home, and he found out this afternoon that his airline won't take off until tomorrow.
I have booked a ticket from Colombia to Dallas, from Dallas to Doha, which is in Qatar, and from Doha to India.
The city says the runway modifications are complete and cost is between $400,000 and $500,000. It hopes the Federal Aviation Administration helps fund the costs.
Normally the FAA will match up to 90% of the cost for infrastructure improvements on the airfield side. If they don't cover the entire portion of 90%, then we'll have to look for some other funding sources. But we do have other funding sources available in reserve funds.
Although Vilchami's flight takes off later than expected, he's happy the airlines gave him a few accommodations.
They took care of my stay in hotel and they take care of my transportation. But the only thing is the delay, one day delay.
Consider using their grant money to help fund the repair costs. And if you have any questions about the airport, you can attend an open meeting on Thursday at 8 a.m. at the Walton Building. Live at COU, I'm Maria Bray, KOMU 8 News.
A Columbia man who the FBI says fled to Iceland is now in custody at the Boone County Jail. Columbia police arrested Jay Robinson last August for placing a camera inside a bathroom near the children's area at Daniel Boone Regional Library. According to the Boone County Sheriff's Office, deputies transferred him to Boone County from Cook County in Chicago. He's being held without bond. 2 men are now in custody after a police chase ended a fiery crash early this morning. The Boone County Sheriff's Department says James Hutchinson and Samson Hess didn't stop when deputies started chasing the vehicle. Deputies say the pursuit ended at Friendship Church and Robinson Road when the car ran into a tree and burst into flames. Officials also say the suspects appeared to be throwing drugs out of the window of the car. No one was hurt.
Jefferson City police say a man is in custody for a fatal weekend shooting on Hickory Street. Police say Marquise Avant admitted to firing the shot. The Cole County Prosecutor's Office filed charges of second-degree murder, unlawful use of a weapon, and tampering with evidence. Robert Scott of Jefferson City died in that shooting. The Fulton Middle School coach who allegedly enticed a minor was on Snapchat was scheduled to be in court today. His hearing was moved to June 17th. Tennille Stevenson allegedly sent sexually suggestive photos to the minor last spring. The student reported the story in August after Stevenson moved to Southern Boone County High School. He was placed on administrative leave and resigned after pleading not guilty in October.
Well, it is a warm one out there today. I hope you've been able to enjoy it here on our Monday. After a cool weekend, we're about 20 degrees warmer right now than we were yesterday afternoon on your Sunday, and that means that our temperatures are in the 70s certainly today. You can see our satellite and radar showing just some clouds now rolling through here late this afternoon, but for the most part, we have been seeing a lot of sunshine today, and temperatures at 74 in Columbia, 75 in Jefferson City, 73 over in Sedalia, even closer into the upper 70s over towards Kansas City. And a lot of this is because we have some warm breeze from the south. It's sustained around 20 miles per hour, a breezy day, gusting around 30 miles per hour. It's going to be breezy over the next couple days too. We're actually warming into the 80s for the middle of this week. Then another low pressure system gives us rain and a cool down heading into Easter weekend. Full forecast coming up.
Okay, thanks, Kenton. Access to mental health care could get easier in Missouri if a bill passes in the state legislature. KOMU8's Monica Madden was in Jefferson City today, joins us now in the studio to tell us more about how this would affect timing and insurance.
Currently in Missouri, only some health care providers allow patients to make an appointment to see a psychiatrist without prior authorization, something House Bill 653 would require all insurance companies to do. The specific language says it requires a health insurance company to provide coverage to anyone determined to have a possible mental health disorder for the purpose of diagnosing. The bill's sponsor, a former physician, says there are already enough challenges for those suffering from a mental health disorder, and waiting hours for treatment should not be one of them. Another representative on the committee, who has also worked in hospitals, says she was surprised this isn't already in effect.
It would take my entire 8-hour shift to get that patient to the treatment they needed. And a lot of times it was very disruptive if they were super critical or been off their meds for a while.
Mental health, it takes up a lot of money to take care of people, and so it needs to be focused, and the sooner we can get to somebody and get them some continued care, that's the answer.
No one spoke out against the bill in today's committee hearing. In the studio, Monica Madden, KOMU8 News.
400 pages long. How much will the public get to read? The release of the Mueller report is just around the corner.
Plus, United Airlines is following suit and grounding the MAX 8 until the summer.
And you're taking a live look over the Lake of the Ozarks on this Monday afternoon. It's 5:07. This is KOMU8 News, first at 5. Coverage you can count on. The U.S. Justice Department says the Robert Mueller report will be made public Thursday. The DOJ says some things will be left out. The 400-page report centers around an investigation into collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. Last month, Attorney General William Barr released a summary of the conclusions, which did not find a criminal conspiracy. The White House says this proves the administration did nothing wrong.
There was no collusion, there was no obstruction, which I don't know how you can interpret that any other way than total exoneration.
Democrats are expected to go to court and demand the full report plus evidence.
Former Obama White House counsel made his first court appearance today. Greg Craig faces a trial date in August after being indicted for making false statements to U.S. authorities. The accusations against Craig stem from Robert Mueller's probe, specifically from the investigation of Paul Manafort.
Environmental protesters in London shut down many parts of the downtown area today. They're part of a plan to block the city's busiest streets. They want the government to take action against climate change. They blocked streets and even attached themselves to boats. They plan to protest for another 5 days. The Florida man who pleaded guilty to mailing package bombs told a judge he didn't think he would hurt anyone. Cesar Sayoc admitted to mailing 16 bombs to mostly Democrats, including former President Barack Obama, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and actor Robert De Niro. The judge said today Sayoc sent 2 letters. One indicated he never meant to harm anyone, but meant to hurt property.
Well, warmer air is rolling in for our next couple days. We also have showers and thunderstorms working their way towards us too. Tracking that system hour by hour, plus what it all means for Easter weekend coming up. Welcome back to KMU 8 News First at 5. Live look over here, Jefferson City on our First Alert weather cam. A lot of blue sky out there, and it was a chilly morning as expected. Temperatures down to around 35 degrees this morning. We had that frost advisory out for a few counties. Otherwise 74, the official high temperature there at the Columbia Regional Airport today. And with these middle 70s, we are going to warm up even more. But really the big difference for tomorrow is actually going to be that low temperature. So remember that we were at 35 this morning and we've been in the 30s the past few mornings. But if we look here, we're at 67 for the average high temperature looking at climatology for this this time of the year in the middle of April. And you can see we're at 81 here on Tuesday, 83 on Wednesday, so above average for the next couple days thanks to a nice warm southerly wind, all until we start to really cool down. A big difference by Thursday. That's thanks to a low pressure system that's going to roll through. It will give us chances for showers and thunderstorms Wednesday night into Thursday, and even off and on then throughout the rest of our day on Thursday. Drying out on Friday. We start another warming trend then for Easter weekend. And Easter weekend, by the way, not looking too bad for us here in mid-Missouri. Take a look at our satellite and radar. This is current conditions. We have this warm front that's rolling through, also helping us with our warmer temperatures rolling in from the Great Plains and from the south. We have a couple low pressure systems getting into the Rocky Mountains and off of the Pacific Ocean. That's all going to continue to form up into a stronger low pressure system heading our way for the middle of this week, as I just mentioned. But you can see really how warm it is over to our west too. That's why we're going to continue this warm up as this entire system continues to head our direction. That entire kind of ball of warmer air just moving over towards us. Now, by tomorrow morning, temperatures are just in the middle 50s. Now, remember, we were in the middle 30s this morning, and then also throughout our weekend, we had some frost and a little bit of snow even there Sunday morning, but we're just going to be in the 50s as you head out the door tomorrow. Then we're around 80 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Then it's even warmer on your Wednesday morning, just around 60 for a low temperature. We didn't even really get that warm this weekend, but we're going to be around 60 for that low temperature Wednesday morning. By Wednesday afternoon, still in those lower 80s thanks to a nice warm southerly breeze. But that temperature on Wednesday is really going to depend on some cloud cover as well, depending on how warm we get. So if we look at this here hour by hour, you can see again, mostly sunny skies for our Tuesday. I do think by the end of tomorrow, we will have a few more clouds that you're going to notice. And then on Wednesday, certainly more cloud cover. But again, on Wednesday, that high temperature is going to be determined, I should say, by how much cloud cover we have in the afternoon. How much sunshine is allowed to warm us up and how much cloud cover might hinder that just a little bit. Regardless, we'll still have a warm breeze from the south to at least get us to 80 for our high temperature Wednesday. And then you can see showers and thunderstorms really start to form up as we head into the overnight hours. So dry during the day on Wednesday, but as we head into Wednesday night, showers and thunderstorms starting to roll through. Some could even be stronger. We could have some wind, maybe even some hail with some of these storms. We'll continue to track that as it gets closer, but that is a possibility for Wednesday night and early Thursday morning. Then as we head into Thursday afternoon, the temperatures are already going to start to fall a bit, and likely we'll just be ending up with showers and not actually thunderstorm activity for the rest of our day on Thursday before we start to dry out heading into Friday. 54 for our low temperature tonight with south winds about 7 to 15 miles per hour. We're right around that 80 degree mark again tomorrow. Gusts around 30 miles per hour from the southwest, that warm weather direction. And then we're going to be in the lower 80s still on Wednesday with a mix of sunshine and cloud cover. Again, that cloud cover will help determine that high temperature. Then we're going to be at 58 only on Thursday with those showers continuing even after the thunderstorms exit early in the morning. Then we're at 61 on Friday, 72 Saturday. Look at Easter Sunday, a high temperature near 80 degrees. We'll keep you updated all week.
Okay, thanks, Kenton. Earlier today, actress Lori Loughlin and her husband, designer Massimo Giannulli, pled not guilty after being indicted for mail fraud and money laundering in the college bribery scandal. The couple waived their right to an arraignment. They're charged with paying $500,000 to get their daughters into the University of Southern California. Actress Felicity Huffman and a dozen other parents have instead agreed to plead guilty.
The Minnesota man accused of throwing a young child from a third-floor balcony at a mall appeared in court today. 24-year-old Emmanuel Armada is charged with first-degree attempted premeditated murder. Police say he approached the 5-year-old boy at the Mall of America and threw him off the balcony. Witnesses say he then ran off. He said he planned to kill an adult but chose the child instead. He faces 20 years to life in prison if convicted. The child is still alive and receiving care. United Airlines extended its ban on the use of 737 MAX 8 jets until early July. This follows similar moves by American and Southwest Airlines. The FAA grounded all MAX 8s after 2 fatal crashes overseas killed 346 people. United says it has used other planes and other creative solutions during the no-fly period.
Coming up, an update to the number of measles cases in the U.S., a rate that hasn't been seen in 25 years. Welcome back. In your health news, the number of measles cases in the U.S. this year is at the second highest level in 25 years. CDC now reporting 90 new cases of measles. That brings the number of cases this year to 555. The World Health Organization is also reporting Monday that 110,000 measles cases were reported worldwide this year, January to March. That's an increase of nearly 300% from the same period just last year. With the summer travel season is about to be in full swing, it's a good idea to look at ways to stay healthy on the airplane. An airline cabin can double as a flying petri dish when not maintained properly. The enclosed space, recirculated air, and large numbers of people making planes prime breeding grounds for bacteria. What can travelers do to help fend off illnesses above cruising altitude? Carry antibacterial wipes, hand sanitizer, wipe down tray tables, seatbelt buckles, armrests, and seat back pockets when you sit down. We do this every time we fly. Well, runners laced up in gloomy weather for today's 123rd Boston Marathon. The men's side of the race had 5 returning champions in the starting field of thousands. It was a close race all morning. Down the stretch, it was Kenya's Lawrence Chirino out sprinting Ethiopia's Lelisa Desha to take the win by less than a second. The women's field of today's Boston Marathon had 4 Americans that were expected to be major contenders, but it was Worknesh Defega of Ethiopia who won. Guinness Beer is getting rid of plastic ring packaging. The company behind Guinness, Harp, and Smithwick's says it will also stop using shrink wrap for beer multi-packs. Instead, it is switching to 100% recyclable and biodegradable cardboard. The sustainable beer packs are expected to first appear this August in Ireland. The new packaging will be introduced in Britain and other markets summer of 2020. Plastic rings have been used for decades, but they pose a risk to wildlife and have been heavily linked to increased ocean population.
Madonna plans to release a new album. The details coming up after the break.
Here's what's happening right now. We're following the latest on the Notre Dame story, where a fire engulfed the famous cathedral in Paris today. Around 400 firefighters battled the flames. One fireman has been seriously injured. Notre Dame's 2 towers have now been saved from total destruction. That's according to a French firefighting official who spoke to Reuters. The island on which the cathedral sits was evacuated by police. The Paris prosecutor has opened an investigation into the fire. Now here's a look what we're following for KOMU 8 News at 6. We'll hear from the family of a woman killed while on a cross-country trip with her kids on I-70.
What the South Dakota family is saying coming up at 6 o'clock. Kenton.
Temperatures in the 70s right now, not too bad out there. It's a nice one to take a walk around the block. Look at the KOMU 8 weather and traffic app. Temperatures in the 60s here, and a lot of clear sky expected before we have some cloud cover rolling in, but we're still around 80 tomorrow afternoon.
Madonna has announced her first album in nearly 4 years. It's titled Madam X, a secret agent who is changing identities and fighting for freedom. She began sharing details of the upcoming album April 1st in a series of fragmented Instagram posts, not giving too much away. She did not say when the album will be released.
I'm going to wear that outfit tonight at 10.
Okay, I'm excited.